Hi guys, my name is Ido Drent. I have been involved with World Vision for the last 3 years. I am an actor, but I am also passionate about social change. So many would say an agent of change, just like you guys. The reason I'm passionate about what we do or about World Vision and about social justice is when I was very young, I grew up in South Africa. I'm from South Africa, and my parents always had a real focus to kind of engage with people, with the poor in the city that we were living in. At a young age, I remember my mum picking up street kids and bringing them home and kind of, clothing them and giving them food and washing them and then sending them back to some relatives or family else in other parts of the country so that they'd have a home again, So she was often doing things for other people. And same with my dad. My dad, he's got a very generous heart. And so I got brought up in a home where we got taught that it's important to take care of others, those who can't take care of themselves. And that coupled with a faith that I found later on in life, later on my teen years, I realized that, we've been blessed with so many amazing opportunities, live in a beautiful country, have, so many resources at our disposal. But there are just as many people, if not more, that don't in this country and internationally. I realized that we live in this country, that we're extremely blessed. It's a beautiful country. We've got so many things going for us, so many opportunities. But I went on a trip to East Timor a couple of years ago, and I was deeply changed with World Vision, actually. And I was deeply changed during that trip. It impacted me to see people not having the stuff that we've got. And it also, I was also shocked by how hungry they are for opportunities and how we were willing just to give away our opportunities, right? But I came back feeling guilty, right? And this is where my thinking really shaped on this. The idea that we've been blessed with things, but we can't feel guilty about them and not be thankful for them. We need to enjoy them, but then also use them for others' benefit. So I guess growing up, seeing my parents always use what they had and share what they had very generously, it inspired me to do the same and look at what I've got in my life and what I've got to give and what we've all got to give, because let's face it, we live in New Zealand, we've all got something to contribute, right? Once I started getting involved with World Vision, I guess I was pushed into this role of being a team leader or ambassador or whatever, or a leader, in some sense. And I always looked at that term and that kind of word as like this big scary thing of like, ooh, leadership, what is that, But I can honestly say over the last 3 years, my experience and what we've done together has really redefined and shaped that. And the more I kind of read myself and the more I talk to people, I've realized that leadership isn't this kind of big thing that you kind of have to strive to one day, but leadership can be a very organic understanding and conversation about why we do what we do, right? And for me personally, once I started realizing that it's all about the magical why we do what we do, I was able to engage other people and inspire other people in conversation and in the way I acted and all that kind of stuff, and was leading them without actually knowing I was leading them, right? It wasn't this moment of like, okay, I'm going to be an autocratic leader and tell people what to do and we're going to do this and that's how you lead. But it was actually inviting other people in, going, hey guys, I've got this idea. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm seeing for the future. This is the kind of future I see and I'm working towards. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to be part of that? And it's funny how as soon as I started having this idea of like not needing to be anything, but just be completely at ease with myself and what I believe, people started wanting to engage. People started following. People started wanting to be part of the conversation, I wasn't at the front of the pack leading. I was right in the middle of the pack with the people, conversing, collaborating, and coming up with ideas to help change the world, And so for me, leadership is ultimately, it starts at a place of really understanding who you are and what you stand for, right? Because when you realize what you stand for and you actually start believing something, you don't discount yourself because you feel, I don't have these leadership characteristics, but you actually go, hey, I'm a person, I believe in some stuff, right? And when I engage with what I believe in and really believe that full-heartedly and don't worry about what other people think, then you are able to inspire and encourage others to join you in the conversation. There's no responsibility to be right. There's no pressure to be right. You can just learn on your way, and you have this journey, and you encourage others to join you. So with that being said, okay, so we don't need to be these gladiators to be leaders, okay? I believe we've all got leadership in us. Everyone can be one, right? You, me, my mum, our younger brother, younger sister. There's so many examples of young people, old people doing amazing things. But if everyone can be a leader, right? I think it's about us taking hold of the opportunities that lay around us, as well as who we want to be, right? And starting to develop those characteristics. So, there's a quote that says, if you can't lead yourself well, how can you lead others well, right? And it's this idea that our lives need cultivating. We need to learn. We need to grow in wisdom. We need to get passionate about things and engage in conversations that will grow us as people, right? And so for me, leadership, if we could all be leaders, I think it's really important for us all to take stock of what opportunities we have at hand and how we can develop ourselves further, right? So reading great books, forming some really good disciplines and habits in your life. You know, some of the greatest leaders of our time had these unbelievably structured and routine lifestyles because they recognized that discipline and habits, good habits, grew them and expanded them in wisdom and their lives. You know, so for example, Nelson Mandela apparently used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning just because that was a habit that he had in his life, a discipline that he recognized. Okay, if I do this, or train myself to be disciplined in other areas. You know, we read books. We have habits around reading books. So for me, I think it's really important, if we can all be leaders, then actually taking the next step and going, okay, what are the things I can do in my life to learn more, right? To engage in conversations around these areas that I'm passionate about and the things that I believe, to make me better informed, wiser, and I guess just more whole on the subject. So we ask questions, we get things wrong, we have a go, but I think it's really important to not just go, yeah, I'm a leader and I want to be a leader. But hey, if you recognize that you've got that in you and that you believe some stuff, okay, let's actually take the next step, right? And have some integrity in the way that we act. So if you find yourself passionate about changing the world or making a difference, right? And if you want to take up this mantle of leadership, you know, I think it's important for us to actually have that self-integrity of not just talking about it, but following through, starting. Even it may be so small, may not be getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning like Nelson Mandela, but it may just be going, okay, hey, you know what? I'm going to journal every day about how I want to change the world, or I'm going to read some good books by people, about good people that have changed the world before me. There is so much stuff out there, but it doesn't have to be so massive. Let's just start. Let's just act on what we're saying we're going to do and have some integrity with our words and actually, have some action behind our words. So here's the challenge. If we are passionate about making changes in the world and being agents of change and wanting to take up this mantle of leadership, it's going to start with us making some decisions about who we want to be, being pretty intentional. There's a great quote that says, if you walk with a crowd, you'll get no further than the crowd. But if you walk alone, you'll find yourself in a place no one has ever seen. Now, I'm not saying be a loner, not be part of good conversations. I'm saying that it's easy to just dawdle through life, not making decisions where you actually stand out and actually make decisions for what you believe in. And so I want to challenge you guys. I want to encourage you guys, right? If there's something passionate, something on your heart that you're passionate about, if there's something that you care about deeply, right? Let's start. Let's start making some decisions. Let's not just allow life to go on and carry on and we just kind of get down the track a couple of years and go, oh man, I used to feel this about that. Let's actually get serious about this. So together, with your friends, with your family, we can change the world. But I guess ultimately it's going to come down to you. History is waiting. What's it going to be?